They say the rain hides tears. But that night it didn't hide hers. Eliana Daniels, 25, beautiful in a quiet kind of way, stood under the storm outside the Eco-Atlantic Hotel. Trembling, mascara streaking down her cheeks. Inside, laughter roared. Glasses clinked. Her ex, Victor, the man who promised her forever, was celebrating his engagement. To someone else. And not just anyone. Someone better. Better family. Better prospects. Better everything. Rain dripped from her lashes as she whispered, "Was I never enough?" That's when he saw her. Adrian Stone. Theo. Billionaire. The kind of man the world obeyed with a single glance. He'd been leaving a charity gala when he spotted her. A woman drowning in heartbreak, standing alone in the storm like a ghost refusing to disappear. He could have walked past. He should have. But something about her, the way she refused to crumble, even as her heart broke, made him stop. He shrugged off his black tux jacket, walked toward her, and said softly, "You don't have to stand alone tonight." She looked up, startled. Their eyes met, the world dimmed, the storm fell away, and for a second she forgot her pain. His voice was deep, steady, dangerous, and maybe safe. But pride burned brighter than heartbreak. She shook her head, whispering, "I don't need saving." He almost smiled. "Who said I was here to save you?" That night, two strangers met in the rain. One broken by love. The other too afraid to ever feel it again. Neither knew it yet. But the storm that brought them together would soon rewrite both their worlds. She was abandoned in tears. He found her in the rain. Only on Made of Love. Days passed. Eliana buried herself in work. Designing, sketching, pretending she wasn't still bleeding inside. Then fate laughed. Her boss called her into the conference room. "Stone International Hotels has just signed a redesign contract," he said, beaming. "And Eliana, you'll be leading it." Her heart dropped. Stone International. Zin. Adrian Stone. The man from the rain. When he walked into the meeting room, tall, sharp in a charcoal suit, she felt that same magnetic pull. Only now, she wasn't a sobbing stranger. She was a professional. Composed. At least she tried to be. His gaze found hers instantly. A flicker of recognition. That slow, knowing smirk that made her pulse skip. "Well," he said, voice like velvet, "we meet again. Miss Daniels." She swallowed hard. "Mr. Stone." He leaned closer, lowering his voice. "You clean up beautifully." Her cheeks warmed. "Let's keep this professional, sir." He smiled, that lazy, confident kind of smile that knew exactly what it did to people. "Of course." For now. Their work sessions stretched late into the evenings. She'd sketch layouts. He'd lean over her shoulder, close enough for his breath to graze her skin. Flirty tension hung thick in the air, a tug neither dared name. One night, while pinning fabric samples on a ladder, she slipped. Adrian caught her mid-fall, his arms strong, his scent warm. They froze, inches apart. Her breath hitched. His eyes lingered on her lips. "I've got you," he murmured. And for a moment, she wished he'd never let go. But he did. Slowly, reluctantly. Then whispered, "Dangerous, Miss Daniels. You make it very hard to stay professional." Eliana smiled, nervous, flustered, but her heart was racing. She knew she should stay away. But every look, every word, every brush of his fingers was a quiet invitation she was finding harder to resist. And maybe, she didn't want to. Desire was dangerous. And they were already losing the battle. Days bled into nights. Eliana worked on sketches while Adrian's presence haunted every corner of her thoughts. Every meeting, every stolen glance. It all felt like a current pulling her closer to a man she should never want. One evening, as the city lights spilled through the glass walls of his office, Adrian leaned beside her. Sleeves rolled, tie undone, gaze dark. "You think in colors," he murmured, eyes on her sketches. "Even your silence has texture." She looked up, her voice barely a whisper. "And you think in walls." always building, always hiding, that made him pause. No one ever spoke to Adrian Stone that way. Maybe I just need someone who sees what's behind them, he said quietly. Her breath caught. The air thickened. He stepped closer, his voice a low rumble. Tell me, Eliana. What do you see when you look at me? She didn't answer, not with words. Just held his gaze, long enough for the silence to say everything. Then her phone buzzed. Victor. He'd found out about her new client. About Adrian. And Victor wasn't done humiliating her. That night the tabloids lit up. CEO Adrian Stone spotted with mystery designer. Secret romance or scandal. Eliana's world cracked open again. At the firm, whispers followed her. And when she met Adrian's gaze in the boardroom, his eyes were cold, unreadable. Later, she found him waiting in his office, newspaper in hand. His tone was sharp, guarded. Did you know what this would do to my name? My company. Her heart broke. You think I leaked it? I think I don't know what to think, he snapped. That hurt more than Victor ever did. Because this time she'd let herself care. She turned to leave, voice trembling. I'm not your enemy, Adrian. But if you can't see that, maybe you should build your walls a little higher. She walked away, her heels clicking like final goodbyes. Days later, Adrian found her resignation letter on his desk. He told himself it was better this way. Until he realized. The silence she left behind was unbearable. And maybe losing her was the one thing he couldn't afford. When he finally went looking, he found her in the park, sketchbook in hand, eyes tired but still full of light. He didn't speak right away. Just sat beside her, letting the quiet settle. Then softly, I'm sorry. She didn't look up. For what? Not trusting me, or letting your fears speak louder than your heart. He sighed. Both. Then, almost whispering. On the night my father died, I promised I'd never be weak again. My ex-fiancé left me because I couldn't give her what she wanted. Emotion, softness, love. I thought I'd buried that part of me. Until you. Eliana turned toward him. Maybe love isn't weakness, Adrian. Maybe it's the only thing strong enough to break through the walls we build. He looked at her like a man seeing sunlight for the first time. And then he kissed her. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't perfect. It was trembling, hungry, real. The kind of kiss that felt like surrender. For a moment the world made sense. But fate wasn't done testing them. Just when happiness seemed possible, Victor struck again. He forged documents, made it look like Eliana had leaked Stone International's design plans for money. Overnight, her name was dragged through the mud. Headlines. Betrayal. Scandal. Adrian's old fears came roaring back. He didn't confront her, not right away. He just closed off. When Eliana found out, her voice cracked as she told him. You promised to trust me. But maybe I was foolish to believe you could. And then she was gone. No calls, no notes, just silence. Adrian's world dimmed without her. For days, he sat staring at that damn resignation letter, until the truth came out. Victor slipped, bragging to a journalist about his little setup. Adrian heard the recording himself. And the moment he did, he dropped everything. He found Eliana by the lagoon, sketching in solitude. Wind tousled her hair, light catching her tear-stained cheeks. He walked toward her. No suit this time, no armor, no empire between them. Just a man who'd finally learned what mattered. Eliana, he breathed, kneeling before her. I once thought love was weakness. But you've shown me it's the only strength that matters. I was a fool to doubt you. Don't let me go. Not when I've just found the only home I've ever known. In you. Her eyes shimmered. You really think love makes you strong? He smiled faintly. I know it does. Because without you, I've been nothing but weak. Tears fell, not from pain this time but from something gentler. Eliana dropped her sketchbook and pulled him close. And under the same rain that once witnessed her heartbreak, they kissed again. Deeper, surer, a promise sealed in thunder. Weeks later, the headlines changed. Adrian Stone clears designer's name. Launches new studio partnership. But this time, Adrian didn't save her. He believed in her. He invested in her dream. When Eliana unveiled her first studio, she smiled at him and whispered, "Thank you for seeing me." He brushed a strand of hair from her face. "No," he said softly. "Thank you for finding me." The final scene fades in rain again. Eliana and Adrian walking, hand in hand, under a single umbrella. He pulls her close, voice low against her ear. "You were abandoned in tears, but you'll never face the rain alone again." Sometimes, love doesn't arrive in grand moments. It finds you in your most broken one. Eliana lost everything, her heart, her pride, her trust. And somehow love still found her. In the rain. In the arms of a man who'd forgotten how to feel. And maybe that's what real love is. Not perfection, not rescue. But two broken people choosing to heal together. This was Abandoned in Tears, until a CO held her. If this story touched you, make sure to tap red heart, subscribe. And tell me in the comments, do you believe love can heal what heartbreak once destroyed? Because here on Made of Love, we don't just tell stories, we remind you that somewhere, someone's waiting to hold you, even in the rain.